mental terrorism. Your mind becomes terrorized. And when your mind becomes terrorized to a certain point, your mind is no longer good. What does a terrorized environment look like? An environment that's ravaged with terrorism, what does it look like? Think about your mind the same way. If we allow circumstances like this to terrorize our minds, then ultimately that's going to minimize the impact that we make in life going forward.
What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go.
What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D, Mr. Double Down on You, with another episode of Black Fathers Now. Dig this, man. Hope y'all are doing your thing. We've had a very challenging last week or so in life, right? I mean, to be completely honest, the George Floyd case in Minneapolis has really shaken us all up, shaken us to our core, and as it well should. It's uncalled for. We know that. And it's interesting, as a black man, as an African-American man, as a father who's raising a little boy and a little girl, who has a wife, who has brothers, who has, a nephew. I got another nephew on the way. I got god kids who are little boys and, guys that I mentor that are younger than me. I mean, when you see another case like this, it further emphasizes the challenging circumstance of just simply being a black man in America. It's hard, right? It's a challenging thing. And the more and more we see imagery of how we're treated, the more and more that gets circulated, there's two things that could potentially come from that on a personal level. One is we see it so much that we ultimately become desensitized to it, and it no longer means anything to us. Or we get to a point in which we're just perpetually hysterical about what's going on. And honestly, both situations, or both possibilities, or both scenarios there are dangerous. If you become, kind of numb to it, and you become apathetic, it's just par for the course, that's not good for life. That's not good for you. And that also reduces your ability to be empathetic for anyone, in their struggle and their challenge in life. You lose that. You lose that connectivity. The other part to the equation, or the other side to that, is that we become so emotionally hysterical that we're really no good, or we bring no value to society anymore, because we can't effectively think, because we're so emotionally unstable due to the circumstances. So we have to be mindful to not allow ourselves to go in any direction. And to me, both sides of that coin, in reality, are what I call a form of mental terrorism. Mental terrorism. Your mind becomes terrorized. And when your mind becomes terrorized to a certain point, your mind is no longer good. What does a terrorized environment look like? An environment that's ravaged with terrorism, what does it look like? Think about your mind the same way. If we allow circumstances like this to terrorize our minds, then ultimately that's going to minimize the impact that we make in life going forward. Because if I all of a sudden operate from the perspective of I'm so scared to do anything due to the fact that there might be a negative result, I pull back. And what if I push that, or put that into the psyche of my children, or to those that I mentor, or those that I'm charged with raising? If I pour into them this notion of being scared about life, being fearful about walking in your purpose, that doesn't serve them well either. We need to be aware. We always need to have awareness. We need to be aware of what's going on, but we need to be very mindful of not allowing that awareness to manifest or to grow into some level of mental terrorism, which gets us to a place in which we don't do what we need to do in life, in which we can't be who we're supposed to be in life. Because if more of us pull back and reduce who we are and reduce our impact in society, honestly, those that have the mission of oppressing or suppressing, their job is accomplished because they don't have to worry about us anymore. So we need to be mad. We need to be upset. We need to be pissed at times. We need to have spaces where we can throw shit, where we can break stuff, where we can just be mad in a controlled environment so that we can get it out. We need to have folks that understand us, that we can cry with, that we can, lean on, that we can share with, that understand. We need to have those spaces. But then we need to figure out how to mount up and walk in the purpose that we're supposed to walk in. Because if we don't walk in that purpose, we've allowed mental terrorism to set in. And those looking to suppress or oppress us, they can sit back and say, job well done. All right, fellas. Well, again, this is not necessarily an uplifting message, because I really don't have an uplifting message at this specific moment, but I felt the need to say something. And I hope this falls in your spirit and you let it resonate within you. And I hope you take action in not allowing mental terrorism to set in with the challenging circumstances that we're dealing with. Well, fellas, look, as always, make sure to visit blackfathersnow.com, subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to podcasts, subscribe, leave ratings, and share this episode out with as many brothers as possible. We got to change the narrative, but it's going to start with us. All right. Well, the kids are outside turned up, so it's about time for me to get out here and do my thing. So y'all, as always, be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace.
Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.